Oh, good morning. Did you come to drink from the well? I see you don't have any cups, though, and I don't have extras. I'm sorry, but maybe I have something that's more valuable than water. Something that I discovered many years ago, and I remember it each time I walk to this well. I heard someone telling you a bit of what happened that day, but I'd like to tell you the rest of the story. When I was young, I was like many of the women in my village. My parents had arranged for me to be married to Simeon, and when the time came, I was terrified and excited. I hoped that I would be a good mother and a good wife, and I hoped that God would bless us with children. Thankfully, Simeon was a kind and gentle man, and I grew to love him very, very much. But as time went by, well, things became tense between us because no matter how hard I tried and prayed and hoped and dreamed, God did not bless me with a child. And then one horrible, awful day, there was a horrible accident and Simeon was killed. I was devastated. But it seemed like before I even knew what happened, there were Simeon's parents demanding that I fulfill the law and marry Simeon's brother Samuel so that I could produce the son that Simeon would have loved so much. I didn't want to do it, but it was the law. What else could I do? And Samuel was none too happy either. After all, the firstborn son that we had would bear Simeon's name and not Samuel's, and have Simeon's birthright. But as it turned out, Samuel didn't need to worry, because no matter how much I prayed and hoped, no child came. When I came to the well, I began to hear the whispers. God must be punishing her. She must have done something terrible for God to deny her a child. She must be a sinner. I don't know if Samuel was ashamed when he heard all of those rumors, or if he believed them or what, but one day he came in and announced, gave me divorce papers and said to me, I don't have to stay married to you. You're barren. You're worthless. Get out of my house. Get out of here. So I left. What else could I do? And what would I do now? As I struggled and tried to figure it out, all of a sudden, Simeon and Samuel's parents came to me. Evidently, they had 3 more sons. Jacob and Andrew and Matthias. And the parents and the village elders demanded that I fulfill the law and give Simeon a son. Well, no matter how hard I tried, no matter how hard I prayed, I tried to think of what I could possibly be doing wrong, that God could be punishing me so, but nothing happened. And someplace in the midst of all of it, my mother and my father also died, and then Matthias, well, he divorced me too, and then I was completely and utterly alone. No decent man would have anything to do with me, and I had no way to assure my livelihood except to stay with whatever man would take me in, even for a night. Whatever man who wanted to use me just for his pleasure. I must be a horrible person. What they said must be true. God must be punishing me because he had completely abandoned me, and I was worthless. I no longer could go to the well in the morning when the women went. The way they avoided me or spoke to me or wouldn't even look at me, it was like they were afraid that somehow, just by talking to me or looking at me, that my sin would rub off on them. So I needed to go to the well in the middle of the day, a long and hot trek, with each step reminding me of how worthless I was and how much God must hate me.